Hello and welcome once again to another edition of A Lean Living. Today I'd like to discuss useful plants we can grow in the garden. There's been from my site, there's been a few questions on gardening and various forms of plants to be planted and things that are useful, which survive a lot, which are actually quite good, and which have either health benefits or other uses. So I shall give you my top three. One of them which I haven't really played around too much with, but I'll tell you about it straight away. Okay, so this one is a food, but is essentially has more of a use more than a food kind of thing. It's called the loofah gourd, loofah pumpkin, something like that. But basically, it's what it has is inside here. When you get them very, very small, they're a kind of vining kind of plant, and essentially what they make after you strip and peel them down, look it up on the internet, on YouTube. There are many kind of videos as to how they're actually done. They make useful sponges because they have a very fibrous inside. If they're very small, you can actually eat them. Say, I've got a few growing here. They make a nice creeping vine, so they can pretty much creep up anywhere, and the little yellow flowers eventually turn into these things. But essentially, when they're this size and they're allowed to dry on the vine, or you dry them and you peel them, they make biodegradable sponges which can either be used to exfoliate or to scrub your pans with, and after you finish with them just throw them in the compost. The other thing that I can talk to you today about is this one here. Now I've just got this one from my cousin's place. It is called a Jerusalem artichoke. It's not in the best of condition at the moment. It was actually dying off at the time, but these are the things that they should produce. These little nodules here. Now these things here can essentially look a bit like not garlic, ginger. Okay, so they look a bit like ginger root. They are to be grown in sandy soil. They can have an all year round harvest. Basically, whatever you don't use of these in the soil then reproduce into plants. So they're extremely invasive is the one thing that I have to actually kind of warn you about. But invasive in my book is something self-sustaining, which is needing little looking after. Now you can cook these. There's many different sites and recipes for these, but you can even eat them raw. Diabetics, this is the golden bullet. This one, very low in carbs. Okay, extremely low on the glycemic index. So if anyone who has diabetes needs one, and you like the flavour of artichoke, it's got a slight artichokey flavour. If you eat them raw, it's got a slight nutty flavour to it. Unlike potatoes that you can't actually eat like this, they are extremely beneficial. Very high in fibre, so I pre-warn you, if you have a lot of these things, be prepared to fart a lot, okay? Not called fartichokes for nothing. Anyway, other than that, we have Jerusalem artichoke, the loofah gourd. One other one which I found extremely useful, very tasty as well. Excuse me while I eat. It's very bad for recording, but you know what the hell. These things here, now they don't look especially impressive at the moment because they've actually grown past their usefulness as such. Essentially, these are the plants here. It's called salad mallow, or Egyptian spinach. They can grow to about head height, but when they dry out in the winter or fall or autumn, what they do is they look a little bit like a okra, these things. So these, I don't know if you can hear that, these little pod things are full of seeds. Now these things, Egyptian spinach, salad mallow, it comes under a few other kind of different names. These are no good for eating, but they produce lots of seed. You can pass them on to everyone. Essentially the thing that you actually want to eat them off them is the leaves that got a very how to describe it, like a fresh pea kind of a flavour to it. So very nice, very high in some kind of elements which aren't normally present. Which aren't normally present in normal vegetables. Like I think it's potassium. Although I'm not don't quote me on that, but there's very high in certain minerals which are actually beneficial. So all you vegans and vegetarians out there, take note, these Jerusalem artichoke and salad mallow or Egyptian spinach, extremely useful plants. Over here the heat is quite hot, so sandy soil as well, so that's been some success to actually growing it. It may vary in different conditions. The Jerusalem artichoke, I'd suggest you don't plant it in anything but well drained soil, only because my first attempt didn't come off too well, because I planted in a very organic, mulchy soil full of humus and lots of organic matter. Now this may have actually rotted the tubers themselves, but essentially anything that's sandy, has well drained soil, you're literally going to just scrape your hands to the top and just pick these things out like crazy. Yeah, so very good kind of things to actually kind of put in the garden. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's the big three. Like I said, the gourd one, the loofah gourd, I haven't actually kind of used it yet, but from what I can see, it throws out a lot of seeds as well. So as well as being a nice little creeper vine to put on a trellis or something, it has use for that, and you can hand out the seeds to everyone. As well as these three plants, they do produce a lot of seeds. You can hand them out to everyone. The flavours of at least two of them are extremely nice, I think, in my opinion. Easy to cook with, get a lot of nutritional value. With the Jerusalem artichoke, it's something that can be harvested all year round. It don't keep for that long, but then again, if it's in the ground and it's there, just pick it as and when you need it. Anyway, I hope that's a bit of food for thought. Like a little bit of a pun there, and that's been of some use to you, and I shall speak to you soon. If I can switch the fucking thing off.